materials that you have. The first one has the agenda on the top. So if you could all have that one available. You have the agenda on the top. And then if you turn that page over, on the back are group lists. We have peanut butter, jellies, and breads. Thank you, primary. So, most of the homeroom teachers are breads, and peanut butters and jellies are support staff and humanities.
Why did you have to give me the one that I would die from?
I didn't even think of that. It wasn't even planned.
It's okay, I read into that. It's all right.
So, as you know, my daughter has the same allergy, so yeah. Okay, so if you notice that, and then you'll see the next two pages that follow after that is actually a glossary of terms for the growth model. And we'll be going through these, so I just want you to know where everything is. So when I say look at this, you know where you're going. That's okay. Okay. Next is this piece of paper. You all have this packet that says Understanding Your Child's Academic Progress. It looks like this one. It has lots of little charts on it. It's a 2-pager. This is for you, for your information. I will not be addressing this packet today, but when you leave and you say, now what is that? This is your resource. Quick and easy, 2 pages. How sweet is that? Okay. Each team has a color, and I apologize for the quality. This is from Peggy's printer. That's okay. It'll serve our purpose. There's 3, and each table should have one. Does the humanities team, do you have 2 packets? You should have 2 of these colors. Okay, good. I just want to make sure you have enough to be successful. Okay, good, good. So, we'll be addressing these later as well. So first of all, what I want to talk about is we are doing the growth model today. And it did cut off part of my slides. Thanks, Troy. I didn't even notice. Our data is a staff with the AYP and the growth model. And so let's lean on those who know and help those who are in need of support. Do you think we can fix my slide as I go through this? Okay, because I'm reading out loud. I don't need that anymore. So I want to first of all thank the TNT group from several years ago. Do you guys who have been here for a while remember the TNT group from several years ago? It was the team in trust, and Clarissa, Stephanie, who else was on that team? Brandy? Yeah, and Tara was on there, Nicole was on there. So I want to thank you because this was what I was reflecting on as I was trying to think of how we could start today. So I want to start today by reading you something, and it's an excerpt from Aim for the Heart by Tom Matthews. And you may I put our needs analysis up on the chart so we can see where we are as a staff. Last year I spent quite a bit of time talking about AYP, and so I was curious about what your retention was on AYP. And so AYP actually does stand for Adequate Yearly Progress. Several of us thought it was Annual Yearly Progress, and that's quite common, actually, for it to be annual. But if you look at annual yearly is like saying the same thing. So maybe that'll help you break out of that. And it's Adequate Yearly Progress. We're going to be comparing adequate to typical in a little while, and it's gonna maybe make you cringe a little bit, but it'll make more sense when we get there. Last year's AYP is actually hanging up over there. If you all remember that wonderful poster that we did, and we went through and we decided where we were at, it's over there. We'll be talking about that here in just a second. But here, how comfortable are you with summarizing AYP? This is where we are as a staff. It looks like most of us, enough to touch the surface. What we'd really like to do is at some point move those greens into the purple and the reds into the greens, blues into the reds, and not have any more blues. But we'll get there. Next, do you know what the growth model is? Here's where we are. Almost 3/4 of us say yes, which is good. But then here's the next question. Did you know that we have to talk about it during conferences? And the majority of us, it's almost exactly the opposite, said no. But that's okay. It's not going to consume our conferences, so don't panic. It's just important that we know the vocabulary and that we can answer those questions that parents might have when we give them the information of the students. The next one is, how comfortable are you talking about the growth model? As you can see, no way, it's pretty heavy. And then I can to a coworker is our largest section. We'd like to get as much as we can into that purple section today. Okay? So that October 8th and 9th, we all feel comfortable by saying your student is in catch-up mode, keep-up mode, or move-up mode. Okay? That'll mean something to you later. So once again, AYP for 2007 and 8 and AYP for 08-09. 07-08's over there. We broke it down as a staff. 08-09, I was going to do the data, but I didn't want to consume our day with that and mix up AYP and growth model. So I decided to shove AYP aside and spend our time today on growth model. So we did make AYP this year. The actual formal reports aren't out yet. The informals are. I'll send you the report via email, but I want you to be consciously thinking because this year we're still the same. Remember, it goes every couple of years. Next year in 2011, we grow. We're expected, it's over here, sorry you can't see it, I didn't hang it up high enough. But in 2011 for CSAP, in reading, 94.23 of our kids have to be proficient to make AYP. As opposed to this year, it's 88.46. So we grow by 6%. In math, this year, 87.94. But in 2011, 93.98 are supposed to be proficient. So, I just want us all to be realizing that things are going to be changing and we're going to really need to be cognizant of that data that's out there and how we're doing. I'm sure something's going to change, as we all know, but No Child Left Behind will not go away. I think we can all recognize that. And some form of AYP will always be there. So next, if we recognize that first, our single point achievement is actually our scale score from CSAT. That's what that single point achievement is. So every year our kids receive that single point scale score. However, when we look at the growth model charts, you'll see projections, statistical projections, and you'll see over time from these students. So how do we understand the relative growth that individual students have made? How do we understand that in looking at Maya and Emma? 2, this is independent. Open up to your glossary of terms. I want you to put a plus next to the term you could explain to somebody else and check if you think you know what it means. And a question is, I need some help. Yes, you may read the definitions. We are not going to do day 1 SFA. All the terms. So it's going to take some time. Yes. I'd like to now give you the opportunity as a team, because I'm sure some of you have these question marks where your team member probably has a check or a plus, and and I'd like you to work through clarification as a team. Okay? And you have 3 minutes. We're going to watch another video clip. It's a very short one, but we're going to look at Emma and Maya again. And so how does the growth provide a different picture of performance than achievement? Remember the difference between the achievement and the growth. Okay? And how does considering growth change the response of us, teachers, the students and parents to student performance information?
So now the question becomes, if today's high bar represents a level of academic achievement, should we be satisfied with Emma's or Maya's current level of achievement? Suppose 46 inches on the high bar represents a proficient level of achievement. Then neither girl reached proficiency, but Emma may get there sooner. Or suppose 44 inches on the bar represents proficiency. Emma may be there sooner. Maya is already there. And if Maya is already proficient, how much should she improve? While clearing a higher bar today, Maya demonstrated no growth. Therefore, we may ask whether her coaches and caregivers can help her improve more quickly. Emma, while not clearing 44 inches, came close and has shown enough growth in the past to suggest that she is getting what she needs from her coaches and caregivers to improve her performance. With continued progress, Emma is on her way to proficiency and beyond.
That's 5.9305.
So, take an index card out from in front of you.
Location wording.
And we're going to give one, get one. Take just a moment, and I want you to write the answer to this question on the card. How is growth defined in the Colorado Growth Model? Do not copy it from the glossary. And how is it different from measures of students' achievement? Who you do not talk to, who you do not talk to on a daily basis, who you do not normally see on a daily basis. Okay? Like yesterday, for example. So, go ahead and you're going to share what you wrote. Go now.
Are we distant enough for this?
You may now go ahead and move into part 2. We've had the overview. Now we're going to get down to individual students. Okay? And so with individual student growth. So in this section, you're going to be able to explain how the Colorado Growth Model quantifies individual growth on the CSAT. And I'm hearing some questions out there as I've been listening as far as growth and advanced students making growth every year. Some of those questions will be answered in this section. You're going to also be able to read and interpret the growth model data presented in the individual student reports. So as we watch this next clip, you need to consider the question, how is individual student growth defined? How are student achievement and student growth related? And then what is a student?
Great. So we're going to talk about your child's behavior. And let's take a look at their math. And the way this is laid out is this is the where she's this is an overall of how the kids are going in the class and their projection of how it's going to look. I'm just going to say, hopefully we'll fix that. Right now she's in the proficient, and last year she had typical growth. And the way the growth works is it's based on her last year's CSAT score. She falls in that category with similar kids that are in